the Fujifilm X-T50 and the 15 to 45 millimeter lens 6-month review. Now, before anybody says anything, before you type it in, I know it's not a full 6 months since I had this camera. The reason I'm doing this video now, it's May of 2026, and I've had a lot of people contact me about this camera, about looking for a camera that they can take on their summer vacations, to summer events, weddings, graduations, so on and so forth. They're looking for a camera that, well, they want better than a cell phone, and they've asked me a lot of questions about this, and I thought I would do my 6-month review 1 month early to help the people who may be looking at this camera. Now, I deliberately did not go in and watch the previous videos I've done on this camera. I remember some of the stuff I talked about, but I didn't want to go in, I didn't want to bias it by saying, well, this is what I liked before, do I still like it? This is what I've found over the last 5 months of using this camera. So, let's get started. What are my thoughts on this camera overall? Overall, I give this camera a 9.5 out of 10. I honestly don't remember what I gave it before, probably similar. There's really nothing that has changed for the better or for the worse than when I first reviewed this camera. But there's a lot of stuff that I've learned with this camera. And the first thing, the biggest thing, and this is something that I have to tell people when they contact me asking me about this camera. I don't think this is the simplest camera to use that you could possibly buy. I don't know if there is one simpler, probably something like a, I don't know, Canon Rebel or a Canon, what is it, the 10R or R10 or R8 or something, one of their entry-level cameras. I don't know if that would be on the Nikon. I don't know what that would be on the Sony because I don't shoot those. But I find the controls on it, you're going to have to know something about photography to be able to use this camera. Not for the fact that it requires that, but for the fact that these knobs, the dials, the buttons and everything tend to get moved. And if you don't know what your settings should be with this camera, it's not like you can just rotate the dial back to a master setting, to a beginning setting, and it's going to work from there. You're going to need to know a little bit about photography and what you're looking for with this camera. But how does it work for image quality? It's great. How does it work for the functions and features and stuff? Everything works. It may be a little bit clumsy how it does work, but it really works well. And overall, I really like this camera. But like I said, there are some drawbacks. The biggest one being all the dials and stuff that can get moved. Now, I'm not sponsored to do this video. I'm not paid for this video. Nothing about that. I bought this camera with my own money. I use this camera because it's what I wanted. It's what I was looking for, or I thought it was. And it did turn out to be what I was looking for. But, and it's a big but, they should have given these buttons, the knobs, the controls, whatever you want to call them, a way to lock in place. I carry this in a fanny pack because that's what I wanted. I wanted a small camera that was easy to carry so that my arthritis, so that I wasn't struggling to carry a camera, but I had it with me. And so I use a fanny pack, I put it in the fanny pack, and constantly I see these knobs, the dials getting changed. And it's really frustrating. And for a new photographer, a beginner photographer, somebody who's looking for a simple camera, this will not do it. I can guarantee you it will not do it. Because all you have to do is change a button, and if you don't know what that button did, you're hooped. So that's one of the big things. I really wish they would have locked it so you would have had to push down and turn, pull up and turn, something like that to lock it. I'm constantly adjusting the shutter speed when I take it in and out of the bag, and I didn't mean to. I'm constantly adjusting the exposure compensation when I didn't mean to. And I'm constantly bumping, adjusting the diopter adjustment. But again, it's the way I use it. I'm not saying everybody's going to have this problem, but yes, you will have this problem. So let's get started. Let's go through some of the functions, features, and everything on it. Film simulation mode. I have not used it. I think in the previous video I said I was not going to use it. I played with it. I leave it on standard. I like where it is from there. Colors and everything look great. It's much bluer, much greener than what my Canon cameras are. And when I'm editing pictures, if I'm editing Canon pictures and these pictures, I do have to pull out some of the blue-green on the Fuji, or they look unrealistic. They look oversaturated. They just don't look quite right. Whereas with the Canon, I don't have to do that. But the mode that I picked, it works really well. The little flash, the flash that's on the camera. This flash is just amazing. It's not a portrait flash. It's not a studio flash. It's not a commercial photographer's flash. It's a flash for a family that wants to be able to take a picture inside of a church, inside of a gymnasium for a graduation, inside of a house for unwrapping presents or something. It'll work great for that. It's a little bit harsh, but it works great. I took a bunch of pictures, probably over 200 of it with it one day, because I was taking insurance pictures of all my possessions here at the office and at home for my insurance company. And I just popped that flash up, wandered around, bang, 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 bang. And they all came out really good. Exposure really nice. It worked great. Let's jump to the lens. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, you're not reviewing the camera, you're actually reviewing the lens, because the lens has more to do with the pictures. No, I'm reviewing this as a kit. It's the X-T50 with the 15-45 kit lens. And I have not bought another lens for it because I wanted a small, easy to carry camera. And I find this lens really good. The quality, really good. Scale of 1 out of 10, if I was rating this, putting my pro lenses here and just a consumer cheap lens down here, this is going to be a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's good quality. It really is. I like the fact that when you turn the camera on, the lens automatically goes into shooting position. I think that's great. I also think it's great when you shut it off, that it goes back away. One thing I've not gotten used to yet is the power zoom function. I'm used to having a lens where you actually crank it, you pull it, whatever, and the lens zooms in and zooms out. But hey, it's not that difficult to use. It really isn't. It just takes some getting used to. Other than that, the lens is really good. I really like the lens. For a family, for a person that wants something better than a cell phone, this lens is night and day better than a cell phone. It really, really is. All right, shutter speed dial. It's one of the easiest settings to get to from your shutter speed, your aperture, your ISO settings. It's one of the easiest ones to get to change. It's really easy to change. You just have to remember, if you're shooting in auto mode, you go back to auto. Otherwise, you can change it wherever you want to change it. It's really easy. It does get changed, like I mentioned before, but it's not a big deal. On-off button, it works like it should. I did mention when I bought this, I remember saying that the previous camera I had, which was a Fujifilm X-T50 that I bought, that I thought was going to be the perfect camera, I found that little button was hard to use, and it actually made my finger sore. This one works fine. Shutter button works fine. The exposure compensation dial, again, works fine. Does what it's supposed to do. It does get bumped, so you have to keep an eye on it. It's just one of those things. The full auto or full program mode, whatever you want to call it, it works wonderful. It works fantastic. With the exception of, it is slower than slow. If I have this camera set on any setting other than that, and take a picture, I can take another picture within a split second. Bang, 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 bang. If I put it on auto, it is busy for a good 5 to 10 seconds saving the file. And it's annoying, really is annoying. I bought a bigger camera card, faster camera card, made no difference whatsoever. Must be something in the camera, but hey, I don't use that setting very often, so it's not a big deal. All the buttons on the camera here up front, as I said in the previous video, I remember mentioning this. If you use them the way that they come previously set up, you'll always be bumping and changing, and it's just not very user-friendly to use. So I've gone through and reprogrammed the dials and some of the buttons up here to get rid of some of the functions and the features, to narrow it down to what I want it to be used for, and that's how I use it. So in order to set my shutter speed, I set my shutter speed here. In order to set my aperture, I set my aperture here. That's all. That's it. That's straightforward. I have the ISO set so that I can set the ISO from the little user screen at the back here. So I can go in and set the ISO. But I don't set it that often. I've been using it on auto ISO, and I find it's actually quite good. I put a limitation on how high it can go and how low it can go, and I find it works really good. But these buttons and everything, the way it comes with the camera setup, it's just, to me too complicated. The menu that they have on the camera, it's huge. It really is. And yes, you can set up a My menu. Yes, you can set up stuff on the screen at the back so that it's a quickly accessible. That was hard to say. But I find it's very complicated, very non-user friendly. Yes, you can learn it. I'm not saying it's that bad. I'm just saying that it's more complicated than it should be. The viewfinder, I find the viewfinder great, wonderful, fantastic. I use the viewfinder for shooting constantly. I'm not a fan of using the back of the camera unless I'm shooting something like macro or something where the camera's down lower on an angle. Otherwise, I am using the viewfinder, and I do like the viewfinder. It's clear, it's clean, it's bright enough but not too bright, and it works great. I remember mentioning last time, I don't remember if I complained about it or if I was happy with it, that the panel on the back, it doesn't flip out. It only goes out and then rotates up and down. And I can't remember what I said honestly, but I really like it. I find it's, I don't know, I like the fact it's not hanging out to the side. I think that's the big thing. I like the fact that if I'm setting it on the ground, I can use it almost like a viewfinder camera where you're looking down on it and you can take a picture from there. I find the screen quite good. I find it bright enough for the sunshine, snow, so on and so forth. I find that all works really good. I'm not going to get much more into all the menus and everything on it because the menus are pretty much the menus that all cameras have. There's a few extra that you can put into it or you can use that Fuji has, but it's not a big deal. Tripod socket, use it a lot, been using a monopod. There's nothing at all wrong with it. It works really well. The strap that comes with it, I really like the strap. It's not a big heavy camera, so why have a big heavy strap? I think this strap is just perfect. And so overall, like I said, I really like this camera. The only thing to be concerned of, again, if you're looking for a camera, is if you don't know what your shutter speed is, if you don't know what aperture is, you don't know what ISO is, it may get bumped, it may get changed, it may get adjusted on this camera, and you don't have a mode you can fall back on, like a program mode or a specialized mode that will take over for you. So you need to know a little bit more. But that's also one of the things I love about this camera, is that it does so much more than just a cheap point and shoot camera, or especially a cell phone, a smartphone. That's what I wanted to get away from. I wanted to get something that had a bit more control, a bit more usability, a bit more functions and features. And this camera does have that. So, do I recommend this camera for somebody just starting out in photography that wants something to quickly take pictures? Probably not. Do I recommend this camera for somebody starting out into photography that wants to grow and get more advanced and learn photography? Big time. Do I think this is a good camera to use for graduation pictures, for nature and wildlife pictures, for wedding pictures, for family pictures? You betcha I do. It's an overall excellent camera if you're willing to learn how to use it. Now, a couple more things that I talked about, or at least one more thing that I talked about. The battery and the charging system for it. It doesn't come with a charger. I still haven't checked to see if you can buy a charger separately. I've been told on a couple comments on my previous video you can buy chargers separately for them. But overall, this battery has worked so well. I have not gotten to the point where I was worried about the battery dying. The charging by plugging it into a USB is slow. So you need to have it at a computer that you can leave it plugged in for a while, or at a wall socket where you can leave it plugged in for a while to get it charged up. But I've been charging it up every week and a half, and I have not got below half for 99% of the times I've been shooting it. On a long day, I may go below half after being fully charged, but that's extreme. Now, it could be the way I use it, it could be how many pictures I'm taking, but yeah, that was one of my big fears with this camera, and it's not come to be a big fear. But if you are going to use this camera for something like shooting weddings, and you're giving it to a second shooter, or it's going to be even your main camera, which I don't think I would recommend, but that's up to you, I would definitely buy an extra battery and a charger for it so you can keep it charged. So there, 6-month review, 1 month early, so you have some information if you're looking at buying this camera for something for summertime, for family vacation, for weddings, grads, whatever. And yeah, it's a pretty darn good camera. So until next time, get out there, take some amazing pictures with, well, whatever camera you use, smartphone or whatever. Enjoy taking pictures, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye now.